Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our very first Fertility Matters Fertility Awards. This has been a project that has been discussed around our table within the organization walls for so many years. And of course, over the past few years, being unable to get together, it's been really challenging to put an award ceremony together. And we are thrilled this year to be able to bring you this very first session where we are celebrating the contributions of over 150 nominees to the Canadian fertility space. We have received nominations for fertility specialists, so fertility doctors, fertility lawyers, naturopathic doctors, mental health specialists, patients, advocates, volunteers, and we could not be more excited to showcase and award more than 7 people with awards this evening. So thank you. This is Canadian Fertility Awareness Week. And as you know, we are redefining infertility. And certainly the award recipients tonight are truly redefining fertility in their own ways in the Canadian fertility space and internationally. And we are very thankful that everybody on the call and everybody on the ceremony tonight is a supporter of better access, more equitable access, patient-centered care, and putting the patient first so that you have the information and resources you need in order to build the family of your dreams. So to kick things off, tonight's first award is the Fertility Matters. Oh, my papers, I apologize, live television. The Fertility Matters Excellent in Fertility Care Award. This prestigious honor is one that recognizes the exceptional professionals who are not fertility physicians. So this is recognizing not fertility doctors, but fertility experts who made significant contributions to the field of fertility care. It recognizes individuals or organizations for their exceptional patient care, leadership in the fertility field, and dedication to improving the lives of individuals and couples on their path to parenthood. These professionals have a deep understanding of the emotional and physical challenges that can accompany fertility issues, and they are committed to providing compassionate and individualized care to those that they support. And tonight, I am truly honored to award this recognition to Aria Dolphin and the BRIA team, the Better BRIA team. Dr. Ariel, congratulations. Thank you so much for your contributions to the space. I would love for you to tell everybody a little bit about who you are, what BRIA stands for, and your work within the fertility space.
Thank you so much, Carolyn, and to the entire organization. It is absolutely a thrill to be here, and it's a huge honor that I accept really on behalf of the team at BRIA. We are about a year old as an organization, and we are a virtual care women's mental health platform where we offer mental health care, very comprehensive mental health care to people across reproductive life stages, and in particular to those who are going through the fertility journey and those who are trying to conceive and their partners and their families. So it's my absolute pleasure and honor to have been nominated and to accept this on behalf of the whole BRIA team. And that includes my amazing co-founders, Dr. Bev Young and Emily Kingdom, as well as those at our front door, our care coordinators, Michelle Amato and Tracy Robert, and all the rest of our incredible mental health care supporters and therapists and all our other healthcare providers who really have come together to help people, women, their partners, their families who are going through this really, really tough time trying to conceive on the fertility journey. And we created BRIA to be something different for people who were struggling at different life stages, and in particular going through fertility, because the care just wasn't there for people. It's really hard to access good evidence-based, well-trained care and have different care providers all in one place. So we basically dreamt it and built it, and we've been thriving and are thrilled to be here tonight. So thanks,
Well,
Carolyn, and
oh,
everyone
you're
else.
welcome. And your patients came through in droves to nominate you and your team. So I can tell you that reading through some of those reasons for your nomination were really telling of the work that you do. Of course, we know each other professionally, and I know your commitment to helping support patients through their fertility journey. So, for people who are watching, who are working in the fertility space, what's your message to them to ensure optimizing and that exceptional patient experience? What's your message to other people who may be interested in stepping up or improving and ensuring that they are providing that type of care?
Well, I think the key message I have to people going through fertility is
Mhm.
get help. Get help, get support, get mental health care, because it is a really, really challenging time. And don't hesitate. Don't feel that it's something to be ashamed about if you're struggling. More than half the people going through fertility are struggling, and reach out and get help. And my message to those care providers who are working in the space, whether it's a clinic or in other ways, it is promote mental health, promote normalizing getting mental health care at this time as people are going through all the medical procedures and the day to day. Support people, point them in the direction of getting good mental health care, and having as much of a team around them as they possibly can to support their mental health needs, to support all the stresses and the burdens that the fertility process can place on someone.
Amazing. Well, Ariel and your team at Better Bria, thank you for your continued work. We appreciate it. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in learning more about what Ariel and her team do, you can find them all through social media and online. Ariel, what's your website?
It's www.betterbria, BETTERBRIA.com.
Wonderful. Ariel, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thanks, Carolyn. Great to be here.
So Ariel and her team are doing incredible work to help support your mental health. And right now they're in several provinces across this country. So if you're looking for more mental health support along your fertility journey, please make sure you reach out and see if that could be a good fit for you. Our next award is one that's very special. This award is very close to me and the work that I do, not only because it's incredibly important for the mission and vision of Fertility Matters Canada, but also because the individuals that were nominated and that were chosen for this award have become really special people in my life, and I am really excited to to introduce them to you tonight. And this award is the Fertility Matters Canada Changemaker Award. And it recognizes exceptional contributions of individuals and organizations who have demonstrated a deep commitment to advocating for equitable access to fertility care in Canada. This award is presented to those who have worked tirelessly to raise awareness of the issue and to advocate for positive change that addresses the needs of diverse communities. Recipients are recognized for their exceptional advocacy efforts. They have a deep understanding of the inequities that exist in fertility care across Canada, and they are committed to working collaboratively with other stakeholders to address these challenges. They have demonstrated outstanding leadership and initiative in their advocacy work and have made a significant impact on the lives of individuals and families struggling to access care. We had two we're actually awarding two very special, well, three actually special people with this award tonight for their work in advocacy in two very separate areas that are incredibly important. And our first award recipients tonight are a pair. They are Baden and Zane Colt. Baden and Zane from Not My Tummy, but I'm Still Mummy. You are an incredible team, and you are an incredible force for change to fertility care and access to services in Canada. I am honored for you both to be here with us this evening, and also I would love for you to tell our audience a little more about who you are and the work that you do.
Hi, thank you so much. This is a huge honor for the both of us, and just to know that the work that we've been doing the last couple of years is really being recognized.
And I see you're both in different locations, which is, you know, amazing. Zane, tell us a little bit about why you're here and why the fertility journey is so important to the both of you.
Yeah. Thank you so much again, Carolyn, for the award. We are intended parents by surrogacy. We are on a surrogacy journey now and expecting our baby this coming July. We are a great team. I have a background in politics and government relations, and Baden is a fantastic health communicator. And together we noticed some policy gaps in Canada and the system, specifically impacting parents via surrogacy like ourselves. And we're not the kind of people that sit idly by. We kind of take the bull by the horns and noticed that there were issues and wanted to make that change. So our challenge right now is equitable parental leave for all. There's a bit of an issue in Canada that parents via surrogacy and parents via adoption have 15 weeks less leave than parents that have a baby the regular way. And we're doing what we can and getting on the phone and going to Ottawa and trying to make these changes in government. Maybe by the time our baby comes, or maybe shortly thereafter.
Really out making phone calls, emailing, pounding the pavement, making the connections, and truly seeing change. You have been such a force, and we are seeing the efforts of your work as this is being discussed in Parliament, and we cannot wait to celebrate with you when officially this change happens. For other people, Baden, who are watching, thinking, you know, I'd like to do some advocacy work. I don't even actually know what advocacy is. The word advocacy kind of scares me. What would your message to them be?
You know what? It's a lot easier to get started than you might think. Grassroots advocacy is something that anybody can do. You take something that you're passionate about, you see an issue that you think needs changing, and you just start to mobilize the people around you, whether that's your friends, your family, your local MP or MPP, depending on whether it's a provincial or a federal issue. There are people who will gladly listen to you. You just have to be willing to speak up.
I would also add that the benefit of living in Canada is that our politicians are so accessible. They represent, you know, in Ontario at least, and certainly federally, one for every 100,000 Canadians or so. And you think that that's a big number and a lot of people to represent, but you'd be surprised how eager they are to take a meeting with you. If you pop into a constituency office, how easily they are to grab a coffee with. And it's what makes Canada such a special place to live and work and seek change if you have an issue with the system.
Amazing. And would you agree that your government officials, they want to hear your stories. They want to hear why issues are important to you. And I know that it's not always easy to talk about your journey or your fertility struggles or what you're going through. For people who are a bit hesitant, is there anything that you could suggest to help them sort of move the needle?
Yeah. What Baden and I love to tell people is you're more than your fertility story. Everyone is coming to this from a different way, sometimes after years of recurrent loss and challenges and feeling a little bit down in the dumps. But there's a reason why you and your partner are trying to have a baby. And there's a reason for what makes you special and what makes you tick. And you have hobbies and passions and things that interest you outside of this. So don't let your infertility story or your fertility journey consume you, and always be sure to highlight so much more that you have to offer. And that's what folks in government want to hear as well.
Wonderful. Well, Baden and Zane, it is a true honor to recognize both of you for your incredible work within government at both the provincial, Ontario provincial level and at the Canadian federal level. We are honored to have you as friends of Fertility Matters Canada, and we are really looking forward to celebrating with you. Obviously in July when the baby is born, but also when the efforts of all of your advocacy work come to fruition for so many more Canadians.
Thank you for the
Thank
opportunity.
you so much.
We'll see you later. Baden and Zane have been longstanding supporters, and please know that you can find them on social media. I believe it's Not My Tummy or Not My Tummy throughout social media. So as I mentioned before, there are some incredible humans doing amazing advocacy work in Canada, quite often quietly behind the scenes. And it was impossible for me and the committee not to recognize the work of this next award recipient. Tara Wood is a PR specialist and the past president of Conceivable Dreams, which is your patient advocacy group in Ontario. Tara has an incredible passion and a fire in her belly to change the way employers are providing fertility and family building benefits to employers, and has been working. This is not her full-time job. She is volunteering and is very passionate about the work that she does. So Tara, I am truly honored to be able to give you this award, to honor the work that you are doing. I know the hours and the conversations that you have been putting in for many years at this point, and you are making significant change. So thank you and congratulations. I'd love for you to tell everybody a little bit about you, a little bit about why this is important to you, and a little bit about what you're hearing about better fertility benefits.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm so thrilled to be here and to have this recognition. So big thanks to the Fertility Matters Canada team. And it's been such a pleasure to work with you on this campaign. So by day, I run a communications consultancy, and by night, I've been supporting Conceivable Dreams since 2017. We successfully lobbied the Ontario government for the Ontario Fertility Program back in the day. I really saw an opportunity to improve fertility benefits for Canadians. I think the light bulb moment for me was realizing, there's so many of us who can't afford or have access to this treatment. When COVID hit, we had an opportunity to shift our sights from provincial advocacy to support more people. So we did a bit of research to understand what's the benefits picture look like. We all need to play a role in this. So what we found is the vast majority of Canadian employers offer no fertility benefits at all. So we thought, let's change this. We can do this. So we launched Fertility Benefits Matters and started working with Canada's largest employers to get them to be the first to embrace more inclusive family-friendly benefits. And 2 years later, we've already seen a 25% increase in the number of Canadian employers who now offer some type of benefit. So slow but steady progress.
Huge progress. And Tara has been a driving force behind a lot of the work that we're seeing and the change that's happening. Tara, tell me, or tell everybody who's watching, because it seems sometimes like this is a huge mountain. Like if I'm an employee, and I don't have benefits, how do I do that? And if you're an employer, it seems like, is that something that's on people's minds? What are you hearing from, or what are you learning from the conversations that you're having? I'd love for our audience to learn what you know.
Yeah, well, I think that the first thing is when we look at employers, there's interest and they want to be part of the solution. We've seen over the past little bit diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the hunt to attract and retain great talent is so prevalent. So embracing more inclusive, family-friendly benefits is an easy way for an employer to check the box. And we're okay with checking boxes if that means people are getting better benefits. So that's the conversations. Employers just really want to understand, how do we do it? How do we make sure we're serving all of our employees? How do we keep the costs in line? But we've seen like changes coming, but there's still a lot more to do. Then on the employee side, it starts with something that can be hard, but an open, honest conversation. There's nothing wrong with the journey you're on. So many people are on it. The first thing I do when I'm talking to employers about this is, have you experienced this? Do you know someone? Literally, there's been no one who hasn't had a wife, sister, friend, close family member. We are all in this journey together, just not enough of us are talking about it. So it just starts with that brave first contact to colleagues or your HR department. We have amazing resources on fertilitybenefitsmatters.ca to help get you started as well.
Yeah. And so for anybody who's watching, Tara has an amazing toolkit. We have a website, as Tara mentioned, fertilitybenefits.ca. You can download the business case for better fertility and family building benefits, whether you're an employer or you're an employee and you want to present that to your employer. We also have a toolkit if you're an employee and you want to approach your employer or your insurance company about this option. You can download that toolkit. We have a letter in there and you can certainly use that. And Tara, I know you are open, and of course we are open. If you have questions about the program or how to, you need some support or guidance in some of those conversations, we're open. And I know Tara for sure is to helping guide some of those conversations for you or with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Tara, for our viewers, do you have anything you'd like to leave with them? Anything that you want to inspire other people with, knowing what you know now, working on this program and advocating for as long as you have? What advice do you have for people who would like to get involved and learn more about how they can do this by themselves?
What I'd love to say is you can make a difference. All the people you're going to hear from tonight likely are, many are volunteers. We do this outside of our day job. We do this because we've been through the financial, emotional, physical toil of this journey. And you don't need to be an expert. We do this because, like you said, there's a fire in our belly. We are passionate, and you are surrounded by an amazing community of people who are trying to do the same things. So if you want change, if you've ever put your hand out to say, how do I make this more financially accessible? How do I make this easier? Where do I get support? You can make a difference. Just reach out to one of the awesome folks you see here tonight and get started, because it really takes a village to move the mountains we need to make fertility treatment more accessible, more affordable for every Canadian.
Absolutely. Tara, I am so grateful to work with you on this campaign and on others. Please know that I am so excited for you to be a recipient of this year's, the first ever FM Better Benefits. The Fertility Matters. Oh my goodness. This is great live television. Live
Changemaker Award.
Changemaker Award. I had benefits in my mind. Thank you. I apologize about that. So Tara, thank you. I am so excited and I can't wait to celebrate you really soon.
Awesome. Well, and thank you to FMC for launching these awards and recognizing people doing awesome work across Canada.
Thank you. We'll see you soon. Tara Wood doing incredible things, and you too can make a change. Visit fertilitybenefits.ca and download your toolkit today. Our next award is one that recognizes exceptional fertility care of a fertility clinic in Canada. And I have the person here accepting this award today is a good friend of Fertility Matters Canada, a previous member of our board of directors. Dr. Jason Hikari is here to accept the Fertility Matters Canada Compassion and Care Award. This award recognizes exceptional Canadian fertility clinics that have demonstrated a commitment to providing compassionate and individualized care to patients. This award is presented to clinics that have a deep understanding of the emotional and physical challenges that accompany the fertility and family building journey, and are dedicated to providing a supportive and nurturing environment that fosters healing and hope. These clinics provide personalized evidence-based treatments that are tailored to each patient's unique needs and circumstances, and are committed to minimizing the stress and anxiety that can accompany a fertility treatment. Dr. Jason Hakari, thank you so much. All of the Fertility Center, congratulations. I am thrilled to have you as the first ever recipient of this award.
Yeah, we're just completely honored. We're floored to receive it, and we're deeply, deeply honored. Just to hear the description of the award just gives you chills, because that's essentially what we're trying to accomplish in treating our patients. So we're really deeply honored. Thank you.
Yeah, and this is an award for all of the other clinics that were nominated. We had so many clinics nominated. This is an award that's nominated by your patients, and so I think that that's so special for clinics to recognize that you are doing really important work, and your patients recognize it. Often in the hustle and bustle of treatments and lots of different emotions, those conversations aren't ones that you probably have often. And so we really wanted to honor clinics that are doing amazing work, and allow patients a space to tell their clinics how important they are to them.
Yeah, it's so important to us, because it's not only the outcomes, the good outcomes or the high success rates that we want, but we want those, but we also want the patient experience to be as positive as it can be, as supportive as it can be. And I think that our sort of patient-centered approach, or like our mantra, is about patient-centered care, and about putting the patient at the center of our processes and decision making, and everything we kind of do, we start with the patient at the center. And to hear that patients are feeling that and are honoring us with this award is amazing. It's a real validation of our philosophy of care.
Absolutely. For those viewers who don't know, Olive Fertility is located in Vancouver with satellites in some of the other cities.
Yeah, in Surrey and in Kelowna, BC, and we've also just opened a clinic in Victoria.
Yes.
So many, and it's important to recognize that this patient care, I think, is from all different sites as well. This care we're trying to accomplish, this exceptional patient care.
Yeah. So Jason, tell us a little bit about the culture at Olive and what makes it stand out for patients. What's important, what's built into the culture at your clinic that provides that really special environment for patients to be in?
Well, I was kind of reflecting on this, when I heard about us receiving the award. I thought about, when we started the clinic, which was about 10 years ago, almost exactly 10 years ago, we kind of brought all the people that were working with us at that time together. It was kind of a small group, actually. We've grown quite a bit, but we sort of got together and worked on our mission and vision statements and what we wanted our philosophy to be, and really at that point decided it really needed to be patient-centered. And then from there, everything has flowed. I think, again, if you put the patient at the center and make your decisions from there, it helps to create the culture that you have. A couple other things contribute to it. Like, I was reflecting also that many of us at the clinic, including myself, have been fertility patients.
Yeah.
And I think understanding, like, as you said, the complexity of the care and the emotional toll that it can take, I think helps you shape the culture.
Absolutely.
And finally, I was thinking that, we also take care of each other at the clinic, and we do really emphasize that a lot. Because I think only when your own, bucket's full can you actually, or at least somewhat full, can you actually help to take care of other people. So I think it's those things that have contributed to the culture.
That's a great point. Taking care of each other allows you to better take care of everybody that walks through your door.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jason, what is your hope for the future of fertility care in Canada?
I guess I was just sort of thinking about that. As I was watching the previous interviews, but it's like such an inspiring group of people that are receiving these awards, that you realize that the breadth of what's available to patients in terms of support and you know, whether it's through social media or through actually appointments or whatever, like there's a lot more support, I think. So I think that how care has been more broad than just seeing your fertility doctor and undergoing treatment. I think that's really inspiring. I also think that things you've touched on also, like access, funding, you know, still here in BC, there's no funding for fertility care. And that's, it's extremely frustrating. And so I think those areas of access and funding and broadening the care from just your fertility physician to other people that are helping to support you through your journey.
Absolutely. Jason, I know your team is wonderful. I know a lot of you professionally and personally. I want, on behalf of Fertility Matters and the board of directors, I would love you to extend our congratulations and our thanks for the work that you continue to do, for always connecting. As some of you may know, Fertility Matters Canada is a registered charity, and we partner with Canadian fertility clinics to help further our mission. And for the past 10 years, All of Fertility has supported our charity financially. And we want to thank you for your continued support of the work that we do, so that we can ensure that all Canadians have access to the support and information they need to make informed decisions about their reproductive health options.
That's nice to say. We're completely aligned with what your goals are in the areas of advocacy and education and support, and happy to support you. And thanks again for the organizing the awards, and thank you to the patients. We really are very deeply touched, and we'll be celebrating this award.
Perfect. And we can't wait to celebrate you in person someday, hopefully soon. Thank you, Jason. And thank you to all of Fertility Centre for your incredible care and commitment to ensuring that your patients have access to that incredible care that they need during really challenging times.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Olive and the entire team at Olive, I've been in touch with them, some of their leadership team, and we're really excited that they were the recipients of that award. Really, really well deserved. Next, the next award goes to someone who I've become really close to over the past few years. We, of course, had a committee that reviewed the nominations, and the Fertility Matters Canada Social Impact Award is going to someone who a lot of our viewers are going to know. You will know her face, and you may know her voice even more. Emily Getz is this year's award winner for the Fertility Matters Canada Social Impact Award. And Em, I just want to talk about what this award represents. This award goes to an individual or organization who invests heavily in creating valuable content to support the fertility community online. They create content that is informative, relatable, and helpful, all while being completely unapologetic about their own fertility journey. They have built a community of followers who look up to them for advice and inspiration. Their work has made a positive impact on their followers by sharing their personal experiences, offering guidance, or promoting community engagement and support. They are true examples of someone who is committed to helping others going through the same struggles they themselves have faced. Emily Getz, it is my true honor to award you with this year's Fertility Matters Social Impact Award. Congratulations.
Oh my God. I feel like I got emotional about that. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much to you and the team. And you have been supporting me since day one. So thank you so much for this. This is such an honor. So thank you.
You're welcome. So for viewers who don't know you, let's tell them a little bit about Emily Getz and the Day One community.
Sure. So I am a fertility patient currently. I am about 3.5 years into the trials and tribulations of going through this experience. And I just felt about 2 years ago that there was a gap really in education, in pulling back the curtain and really showing what this experience looks like, and also providing support in a different way to learn how to actually go through this. And so Day One has been evolving since that point, which initially started as a podcast. and has grown into a full coaching business. And where I also on my platform continue to share as raw as possible my own journey in hopes that that shed light on the unspoken part of this all. I think that it's one thing to hear about it. It can be another thing to see it. And it's just been an honor to grow this community of people, both who are supporting loved ones that are going through it and looking for resources on how to do that, but also a community of people who are experiencing this firsthand and really looking to be supported in a different way.
Absolutely. And this community, truly, I have watched you from day one grow from your podcast and seeing the community that you have built and the impact you are having on lives of people, not only in Canada, but globally. You truly embrace the spirit of this award, and you had so many nominations from so many followers that came in. It was really heartwarming to see some of the messages. Of course, you have created this really amazing online space, not only for people to feel heard and validated and as part of a community, but and you know, because I've said this to you on other occasions, you are also sharing your really your experiences almost in real time. You have not had an easy road in over the past 3.5 years, and I know how challenging it has been, but it's inspiring to watch you, Ev, your husband, move through this and provide that sort of shift for people to say, wow, this person is surviving, and I am going to connect and connect with that community. And your stories are truly changing the lives of the people that you that fall into your social networks. What do you say? What is your hope for the future of fertility, the fertility community in Canada?
Oh man, I feel like I could answer this in so many different ways. So this doesn't, my answer is not taking away from, the funding and government getting involved in advocacy work and all of that. I think is so, so important. And we continue to do that. But I think for me, it's the hope for day one and is really to ensure that our mind and our mental health is being as looked after as our physical health, and educating the people that are going through this journey that we can't deprioritize our mindset. We can't deprioritize our mental health and like keep going and push it to the side. And that if we do really invest in these two areas, the journey isn't as hard. And I'm saying this is why I feel I'm living a little bit in my dharma, which is that there is another way. You do not have to suffer. You do not have to give up your life for this. You can figure out how to integrate it in. We just need to be taught these things. And what happens, I think, in the journey is we're so focused on the goal that we've decided we're going to give up who we are. And they do not have to, it doesn't have to be your reality. And so for me, the future of the people that are going through this firsthand would be that they learn that they can still be themselves. They can still have their lives and go through some of the hardest moments of their life. They can go hand in hand. And I think that message has been lost along the way. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that there aren't extremely hard and painful moments, but as a whole, there is a way that we can do this where we're not victim to it. And that's really the passion point that I have in the work that I do.
It's amazing. What inspires you to keep this community so vibrant?
Mostly what I just said, which is to teach people that it can be a different way. And if I could if day one could be part of, and I'm not even saying through my coaching or through program, just through the followership of it. If you are learning tips of and tools of actually how you could make this journey easier for you, that continues to be my inspiration. And I will continue to create content, programs, offerings to make sure that I'm filling that gap, and some of the people I've worked with, when they come to me and they say things like, I couldn't imagine having to have gone through this without your work. I think for me, that will keep me going for my lifetime.
Absolutely. And for viewers who don't know, Emily truly is the spirit of the Social Impact Award, and also in giving back. She is the chair of the Fertility Matters 6K and helped us establish that movement and that event to almost 3 years ago, I suppose. So not only building a community through her day one business, but also giving back to the community that she cares so deeply about. Emily, it is a true honor to have you here with us this evening, and we are thrilled to have you as the recipient of this award tonight.
I am so honored. Thank you so much, Carolyn.
You're welcome.
You.
Bye. Emily Getz. And so for those of you who don't follow Emily and you'd like to know more about her, you can find her on social media at Day One, the number one, and her amazing podcast, the Day One podcast, on wherever you stream your podcast services. Our next award is one that is very exciting. It's very exciting because the award winner of this, or the recipient of this award, represents an organization who is committed to changing the lives of so many people. The Fertility Matters Canada Better Benefits Award recognizes an employer that has taken action to be part of the solution and to make a meaningful difference in the lives of their employees who are struggling to build their families or who need access to fertility care in order to do so. This award applauds an employer that has worked with their insurance underwriter to create an inclusive, family-friendly benefit plan. The employer will also act as an exemplar for other organizations by defining fertility or family creation policies, encouraging open conversations within the workplace, and providing training to managers and demonstrating flexibility and understanding overall for employees struggling with fertility issues. This year's award, I am so honored to be with the group from TD Bank Group. We have with us tonight Maria and Susie. Thank you so much. It is a true honor to recognize TD for your incredible work over the past few years. We know that you have been working closely with Tara, another award recipient, and you've been so open and committed, not only in Canada, but also globally, to your employees. So we want to thank you for recognizing the importance of fertility and family building for everybody within your organization, and for all of the work that you continue to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're very honored to receive this award, and thank you so much to Fertility Matters Canada for this recognition. We appreciate it.
We're just so thrilled. It is, an opportunity to showcase that this is possible, and it's really such an important conversation. We talk about access to fertility care and those supports. And a lot of time, those conversations come down to funding from your governments, but really there are other stakeholders involved in the conversation. And we know the impact, as we've seen even from conversations earlier this evening, the impact of this on someone's mental health and on their activities of daily living and their ability to be an amazing employee, and truly their future. So recognizing this, we really applaud you for putting this into action and making sure that your employees know about the program. So tell us a little bit about what led to TD making the decision to make fertility and family building benefits available to all employees. Why was this step important to your organization?
It really starts with culture. At TD, we care about our people and have a long-standing commitment to building an inclusive and diverse work environment and a culture that supports our colleagues and responds to their needs. And as part of our purpose to enrich the lives of our colleagues, we're committed to investing in their physical, financial, social, mental well-being and building an inclusive environment where every employee is valued, respected, and supported. Diversity and inclusion is part of our core values and an important part of everything we do for colleagues, customers, and the communities that we support or around us. We are continuously listening to our colleagues. We look for like a safe space for our colleagues to have those frank, open discussions and brainstorm ideas that really matter to them. With the diversity of our colleagues and families in mind, we designed a comprehensive benefit plan that offers our employees with a broad range of options. And choice and flexibility are two of the most important guiding principles. Recognizing that growing a family looks different to everyone, and as such, we enhanced our family planning benefit to include coverage for fertility and reproductive treatments, surrogacy and donor costs, adoption costs, in addition to the existing fertility drug coverage we had.
It's truly amazing, and it's a true testament to the work that sort of the culture within TD, that you are also looking at this across cross-sectionally. I know that you were involved in many conversations before this program, this benefits plan came together. And I know that you involved different stakeholders to have conversations to really learn what the fertility journey looks like for many different people. So we applaud you for taking that step. It's an important step. And you didn't just say, okay, well, this is what other people are doing, and we'll just put it down as this number and moving on to the next medical condition. So truly, truly amazing work by Maria, you and your team, and of course you too, Susie. Tell me, what are you hearing from your employees about the implementation of these benefits? Have you heard from anybody who works for TD whose lives have been changed or who have been able to access care now as a result of these benefits?
Yes, we've received such positive feedback from our colleagues. We've heard from so many employees who have been able to access the fertility care because we've added these benefits. Our family planning benefit has an immediate financial impact. For example, surrogacy can be a lengthy and expensive process. And last year, we heard from one of our colleagues that they were starting to plan a family with their partner through the surrogacy support benefit. We were able to provide some of the financial benefit. And it truly demonstrates our culture of care for our colleagues.
That's amazing. And you're right. It's such an expensive journey. And again, to have those different levels that your employees can access, because surrogacy is expensive. Fertility treatment is expensive, but surrogacy can be up, 2 or 3 or 4 times that cost. So it's incredible.
The reality is people are going through an emotional journey as well. So having that financial piece, being somewhat, supported is definitely an added relief.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Susie. So before we close, what message would you like to share with other organizations or businesses who might be inspired by your work, who have considered or aren't sure about considering fertility benefits? I'd love to know what message you might leave for them.
So I'm going to take this one. As organizations continue to focus on their talent strategies of the future, there is a greater need for companies to really take a thoughtful approach in terms of how do they better tailor their solutions to support overall total employee well-being. My second item is listen to what our employees are telling us, what they need, how we can better support them and their families, and learn from their own experiences. Last but not least is understanding the diverse needs of our employees and their families. And in our opinion, leading organizations will be known for cultivating an inclusive workforce, but for also being advocates and ensuring that they're creating an inclusive society that supports all. And this means evolving our benefits programs to meet our employees' unique needs, such as what we were able to do in terms of our family-friendly planning benefits.
Amazing. Well, Susie and Maria, on behalf of our whole organization and on behalf of every employee and future employee of the TD Bank Group, and for the people and organizations that you will inspire as a result of your work, and now so many more people know about these benefits. We truly are honored that you are the very first recipient of the Fertility Matters Better Benefits Award. And I hope that we will have a long, fruitful relationship together and can work together on projects in the future.
We look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Carolyn.
much. Truly setting the standard for better fertility and family building benefits in Canada. TD Bank Group has had their benefits package in place for some time now, and really lovely to hear that patients or employees are actually able to take advantage of those benefits, and probably opening doors for people who didn't have an opportunity to try fertility treatment to build their family. So kudos for leading the way, TD. The next award, as I get my papers together, we have got 2 more awards. So thank you for still being here. Tonight, the Fertility Matters Canada Spirit of Giving Award. It recognizes the exceptional contributions of individuals who have dedicated their time and talents to serving Fertility Matters Canada. As many of you know, we are a registered Canadian charity, and although we support everyone nationally in this country, we are a very small team of employees, and we rely on the work and the time and the talents of so many people within this country to help us ensure that the mission and vision of our organization is seen through. This award is presented to volunteers who have made significant contributions to the organization through their dedication, leadership, and service. Recipients are recognized for their outstanding service to FMC and the wider fertility community. They have a deep understanding of the organization's mission and vision and values. They are committed to advancing its work through their volunteer efforts. They have demonstrated exceptional leadership and initiative in their work and have made a significant impact on our organization's success. And this year's award recipient is Valerie Watts-Defoe. Val, it is so nice to have you here. Thank you so much for all of the hours and the work that you have committed to Fertility Matters in your time here. We are honored to have you as the recipient of this year's award.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. It's been an absolute pleasure volunteering with FMC and being here tonight with so many people from the fertility community, many of them who have, walked me through my journey with fertility. Lots of familiar faces from social media. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that we're doing at FMC and the opportunities that are ahead of us as we continue to work to make fertility treatments more accessible for Canadians.
Amazing. So for viewers, Valerie has been involved with FMC's Patient Access and Government Relations Committee. We have several committees for volunteers to provide their talents and time to. And Valerie has really got a special place for government relations and access to patient care, and was a true change maker in one of FMC's biggest projects to date. We've got, and we'll be providing more details soon, but behind the scenes since last August, so at least 8 months, we have been working with a government relations firm on putting together a plan for a federal fertility advocacy campaign in Canada. And the true person behind that program and the link to working with a government relations team is Val. And we met one time last year, and I think that it's so important. I have the great privilege of working with so many volunteers across this country, and we always want to make sure that the volunteer experience is rewarding for the person who's giving of their time. And one of our meetings last summer, Val said, have you ever considered working with, we were talking through some things, and she said, have you ever considered working with a government relations team? And she put together we did a, what is the word I'm looking for, Val?
Call for proposals.
Call for proposals. Thank you. And she researched the organizations, and as a result of Val's work and research, we found the right fit with a GR company, and they have been an incredible resource. And this program, I truly, it is here, and the work that we're doing is because, Val, of the work and your expertise. So I will be forever grateful for you for walking me down that path and connecting the dots.
No, it's really exciting. I mean, we've talked about so many different opportunities for fertility care across Canada, both in terms of access to funding and access to clinics. And having a background in federal politics and organization and operations, I think it's a really important step that FMC is taking to look at fertility from a federal perspective, because it really shouldn't matter where you live in Canada, the level and access to fertility treatments that you should be able to access. As a patient in Ontario, myself, I had to travel 3 hours each way to my clinic, for cycle monitoring, for procedures. And whenever I spent a lot of time on the road and in waiting rooms, it really gave me lots of time to think about how can this be easier for patients. And the more that I dug into that research, realizing how privileged I was to be in Ontario, to have access to funded cycles, and then looking at our provinces and recognizing that patients just like me, because they live somewhere else, are not getting the same level of treatment, or aren't able to access it, or have to spend more money. And that's something for me that was really motivating for my reason for getting involved with FMC, is that there's a better way forward. And through advocacy efforts, and we've had lots of great volunteers speaking already tonight about the power of advocacy. And having worked in federal politics, I see how important it is to share stories with decision makers, and how impactful that can be, and how those who are comfortable sharing their stories can really make a difference for those who are going to be seeking fertility treatments moving forward.
Amazing. Val, for people who are watching, as we've mentioned, and as you've kind of mentioned, this is a community that typically when you're volunteering, it's because it's something that's near and dear. It puts that, there's a passion inside you to give back to this community, because so many people are connected and don't have a voice, or don't feel that they have a voice. What's your advice for people who want to get involved with our organization or with another organization to volunteer? And how do people sort of take that first step?
Echoing some of the sentiments that were shared earlier, I think it's really important that people understand that their story matters. I think a lot of people think it's like, it was just an IUI, I only had a couple of visits. Well, that doesn't change the process you've gone through. We all are on different journeys. So I would really encourage those who feel that maybe their story is insignificant, or it really doesn't matter. They all matter. It doesn't matter what you've been through. Your story is impactful. Your story can change someone's life, but just by sharing it. I know for me as a fertility patient, I was felt very isolated until someone posted on social media about their fertility journey. And then I connected with them. And then you kind of realize that like 1 in 6 people, like that's not a lot. Like that's a very close network. So being able to just, find your voice whenever it's right for you. It wasn't always there for me as a patient. And, when you're comfortable, share your story, share it to your friends, your family, your colleagues, and share it with decision makers. They were talking earlier about how accessible our Canadian elected officials are, and we need to take advantage of that because most people have a link to fertility or know someone who's been through it. But to take the time to share your story is so impactful and makes a huge difference in making progress moving forward for Canadians.
It's true. And thank you, Val, for saying, sometimes you can't find your voice. You don't have your voice. You're not in a space where you can actually give back, but know that our community and other communities or other organizations that rely on volunteers will always be here and ready for you when you're ready to, or when you have the space to be able to give back.
Yeah. Infertility is the worst club to be in, but it has the best members. And there's an entire community of people rooting for you, even though it can feel like the most isolating part of your life. But, for people going through this, like you are doing an amazing job and you're stronger than you think. And, we're all here and rooting for you.
Amazing. Well, Val, thank you so much. It is a true honor to continue to work with you sort of on a weekly and monthly basis. And for those of you who are watching, we know you will be celebrating Val and her commitments because so many of our programs that we are able to provide come from volunteers just like Val. And if you're interested in learning more about volunteering with our organization, you can find information on our website or email info@fertilitymatters.ca. Val, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations. An amazing volunteer, amazing story, and a true change maker in Canadian fertility landscape. Our final award tonight is the Fertility Matters Canada Compassion and Care Award. This award recognizes exceptional Canadian, I'm on the wrong page. Again, my apologies for the award winner. I did that again. This is live, and I can't believe I did that. There we go. The Fertility Matters Canada Hope and Healing Award. This award recognizes physicians or fertility specialists who practice in Canada and who have demonstrated outstanding commitment, dedication, and expertise in the field of reproductive medicine. This award is given to a physician who has made significant contributions to the advancement of fertility treatment through clinical excellence, research, education, or advocacy. The recipient of this award is a leader in the field of reproductive medicine, providing exceptional care to patients on their path to parenthood. They have a proven record of successful outcomes and have shown compassion, empathy, and respect for their patient. And tonight's award winner is all of those things and so many more. Dr. Prati Sharma from Create Fertility in Toronto. It is a true honor to award you with this year's first ever award.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carolyn. And thank you to the audience for hanging in there to hear about the last award. I mean, I could not be more honored to stand amongst such amazing individuals who are really dedicated to the field of reproductive medicine. I guess that's the best part of being last. You get to hear what everyone else says, and it's just truly incredible how there's just such a breadth and depth of people out there who are devoted to caring for infertility patients, patient advocacy, education, empowerment, help. And so I'm truly humbled. And really, what could be more special than being nominated by my peers and my patients? So
absolutely. Yes. And it's so important to recognize for these awards that they are peer and patient nominated. The nominations, as I was reading through them, people had amazing things to say about the care that you have provided, being a good colleague. So, Pratty, what inspires you to? I mean, you're very involved in the patient space. You're very patient centered. You are always on social media, educating and providing information and connecting. What inspires you to continue to be a ray of light in this space? Especially, I'm sure not all of your days are easy sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's really multifold. First off, you have to really love what you do, no matter what field you're in. And I am really in love with my job. I can't lie. I really love what I do. You have to be able to do it every day of your life. I think it's just so powerful how far we've come in reproductive medicine. We have so many tools at our disposal. I always say there's always a way to build a path to your family. And I think we live in this incredible day and age of reproductive medicine where there's so many different treatments. On a personal level, I struggled myself. I was lucky being a fertility doctor, I guess. I kind of fast forwarded to IVF at a young age, and that's why I'm such a huge advocate for fertility preservation and considering egg and embryo freezing, because that's truly what allowed me to have my three children. I had my third child at 42, and only because I kind of fast tracked early on and did IVF sooner. So I know what it feels like to go through this journey. I know the ups and downs. It's not all peaches and cream. There's highs, there's lows, there's successes, there's failures. It can be a short journey, it can be a long journey. Lots of roadblocks in terms of deciding, can I afford the next step? Can I put my body through the next step? Am I mentally ready for the next step? And so what motivates me is really building a relationship with the patient. I truly consider all my patients almost like friends or part of my family. And so it starts from the initial consultation. When I meet a patient, I want to get to know them. I want to know what their goals are, how many kids they want. Do they want kids now or later? What are sort of their endpoints? Do they think, I can't do IVF, I can't do egg donation, I can't do surrogacy? And sometimes that changes along their path, but it's really to be their partner and to walk that path with them and to create a plan that they're comfortable with. And so, my dedication to the field just comes from loving it, wanting to be the patient's partner, and having been through it myself. And, there's so many great fertility clinics and so many great fertility doctors out there. So I'm just lucky to be amongst such smart people. And I think, being a collaborative physician and having respect for my colleagues and really always being a forever learner, that's what makes me who I am. I welcome changes in protocols and learning new things, just because if it's going to help my patient get pregnant, I'm all for it.
Amazing. What's your hope for the future of fertility care in Canada?
I mean, I would love for there to be equal access for all. I mean, in recent years, I've become a real advocate for equal access coverage. I'm part of a foundation called Fertility Friends that provides grants to patients across Ontario. I'm involved with Carrot Fertility. They're coming into Canada to provide employee benefits. And, it would be wonderful if all the patients who needed access to high quality fertility care could actually access that care and get the treatment they need to become pregnant without sort of robbing them of their financial and mental security.
Amazing. And in closing, what's your message to patients who are sort of currently, in the trenches, or who may need to access care in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I always say to patients, never give up hope. There's always a way to build your family. It might not necessarily be exactly in that same route that you thought it would be from when you entered the doors of the fertility clinic, but there's always a way, and maintain that open relationship with your fertility doctor and your clinic. Most doctors are like myself. We are always available for our patients to sort of talk about what next steps could be possible, get a second opinion if you need, and educate yourself. We're lucky. There's so much information out there from reliable sources, of course, not necessarily Dr. Google, but there's patients, there's providers who are providing really accurate, high quality information. So educate yourself, ask questions, and there truly is always a way. We're just really lucky to be in the place we are in reproductive medicine, and the future is bright.
Amazing. Well, Dr. Pratty Sharma, on behalf of the entire Canadian population of people who need access to care, and our board of directors. Thank you so much for your continued advocacy for patients, how well you're taking care of patients. We appreciate you, and it is a true honor to have you as this year's award recipient.
Thank you, Carolyn, and great job today.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This award ceremony, as you can see, has highlighted the incredible voices of the people behind the scenes doing the work to change the face and the experience in the Canadian fertility world. If you are interested in getting involved with Fertility Matters Canada, please visit our website, fertilitymatters.ca. This is Canadian Fertility Awareness Week, and you can find more information at fertilityawarenessweek.ca. We hope you enjoy you have been enjoying the week so far. Please know you can connect into any of the webinars or podcasts or expert interviews or patient stories that we've been posting throughout social media over the past week. And thank you to our sponsors. You can find more information about them on fertilitymatters.ca and also fertilityawarenessweek.ca. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to our award recipients. We'll see you next year.